Okay, so I have on some background music, which is kind of a must for me. And I wanted to give a shout out to what we're listening to. It's on YouTube. It's a down tempo trip hop breaks late afternoon mix by Kyle. And this is No Nations Studio. And I believe it's out of London. So that's what we're listening to in the background, if you can hear it. I don't want to be copyrighted. I just wanted to give the proper credits to the background music today. So if you are in like a lot of pain, like sometimes for myself, some of my pain is just all, can go around my hips and just almost feel like I'm having like a bad period or something. If you're a man, you know what I'm talking about, but I know men do struggle with low back pain as well. If you have like a disc that's out of place or something like that, it's a lot of inflammation. The body's like, out of balance. There's something that's, out of whack and it's causing inflammation, and that's the pain. There have been times where I've been in so much pain where I've literally feel like I can't walk. And in those moments, you almost can't walk, right? If you know what I'm talking about. Regardless, I'm going to show you some ways to release that pain. And if it is to the point where it's like you can't even walk around, it's like it's just that bad, what I have done is literally, I know I have to just get myself down on the mat. Get myself down on the floor. It's very helpful too, this is a pro tip of mine, to keep a mat, like a yoga mat, on your floor somewhere in your house where it's out all the time. No matter if you're in chronic pain or not, it's a good thing to be doing yoga, right? So have your mat out somewhere. I keep it in my living room, your bedroom, wherever you want to have it. Where it's out, you can put like a nice rug or something on it, or a pillow, so you can just sit on it at times and just gently do some poses. And doing a little bit of practice every day will help the pain not come back as bad. So if it is really bad and you just have to get down and you have to crawl onto your mat, that's okay. Sometimes, it's that way where I have had to get down on all fours. Sometimes this can help. Everybody's going to be different. So if you need to do that, sometimes just getting into a table position like this on all fours, you want to make sure that your shoulder is directly over your wrist. Okay, there's a straight line coming down. You don't want it to be like this or like this. You want to keep it so you're avoiding any more injury and you're doing it properly. That your wrist is right straight below, making a straight line from your shoulder down. Your fingers are spread out as much as possible. Your hands, you don't want them, together, or you don't want them going out like this. You want your middle finger to be going straight out from your wrist, okay? Straight line, middle finger out. So that's a nice alignment there. And then the same thing. I like to go like this to kind of make sure I'm in balance. You want your knee to be directly below your hip, okay? So you're making a right angle here. It's a nice straight line down there as well. And sometimes just doing this, coming in and very gently, depending on, how much your pain level is that day, it might be a little harder to do a cat-cow, but getting into this position and rocking back and forth, moving your pain letting your body know that you love your body so much and you're taking care of it and you're trying to work out that pain. Doing some breathing, always breathing, so you can inhale as you come up, looking up, pressing your belly down to your mat, keeping your elbows straight. Okay, nice strong arms. Your fingers are pressing into your mat. Nice strong force here. Looking up, butt is up. Shoulders are pressed down and in. Exhaling or inhaling, I said, right? You can inhale this way and then exhale as you slowly roll in and come down. Looking at your belly, tucking your pelvis in, pressing in still with your hands. Nice straight arms. You can stay here for a few breaths and just concentrate on pressing in with your palms. And then slowly, gently come up again. Opposite direction. Inhaling up, look up. Exhale down. Come in. Go within. Tilt your pelvis in. Rock it around. Move your hips around. Press in with your palms, nice and strong, like you're doing a push-up. Okay? You can shake your booty out. Shake it out. Come up, inhale. Shoulders. You're working your shoulders here, your arms, your belly, your hips. Your butt is shooting up, and you're even tapping your feet. My feet, the tops of my feet are flat on the mat. Okay? Now this is one you can come in to do first if you'd like, and then you can come down further like this. And sometimes I put my palms together, or you can have them flat on the mat, still shoulder width apart. Bring your knees up maybe 6 inches so you can sit back. Sit back into your heels. Rock back and forth. So my knees are spread out here, right? But my toes, my big toes I brought together. So I'm making like a V right here. And then I'm sitting back onto my heels. And I've got my elbows down on my mat. My palms down. And I'm rocking it out. Now if the pain's really bad, you're going to want to do this very slowly. Sometimes, like for me, this whole section around my sacrum and, my low back, my coccyx, my hips would just be so tight and frozen up with so much inflammation that the more it's like that, the more you have to slowly come into these positions. But then when you get into these positions, they will slowly release the tension, and the inflammation will subside. Okay, so you come down like this, then bring your palms together, or sometimes I like to do this. Bring my thumb and my index finger together, and then you can stretch out your arms more, so you're making like a circle for your head to come down and touch your mat. Your forehead and your nose are touching the mat. Keep breathing. So now your forehead, your nose, your forearms, your palms, your elbows, your shins and your knees and the tops of your feet and your tops of your toes are all touching your mat. Keep breathing, no holding your breath. Inhaling in and out. And then you slowly push up with your hands. Walk your hands back. Shake out a little bit. Tuck your belly in. Oh, feel your shoulders and your upper back get stretched out here. Moving around. You're sitting on your heels. Your sit bones are like down on your heels. Now I just brought my knees together. Okay. I'm going to walk forward a little bit. See, I have a thin blanket beneath me. Kind of helps padding because this mat is very thin. So if you have a thicker mat, you might not need that. And I don't have carpet beneath me. This is hardwood floor. So my age, I know that it's okay to have a little padding when you're doing this. But you do want to be as flat as possible. And so now we're in a nice hero's pose. And see, I'm bringing my knees up to make sure that this bottom part of my leg is nice and flat on the mat. I'm sitting on my heels. My toes are touching. Okay, your toes are flat on your mat. Give them a little love back here. Mine are cold. And just kind of press on them and bring some love and circulation. Love and circulation. Keep breathing. Okay, now we're going to rock to one side so we can come down on our hip and our butt, down to the mat. Bring your feet out to the side and in front of you. And tap your feet on the mat. Say, wake up feet, I love you. And then bring them up, holding on gently to the front of my knees here. My ankles are touching, my feet are touching each other, my knees are touching. And then I'm gonna rock my head in. If you can't touch, that's okay. This is a nice neck stretch and a whole spine stretch. Breathe. Breathe in. Exhaling out. Breathe in. Exhale out. Now, we're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together into this butterfly, the famous butterfly pose. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect alignment in some ways. You want to try to do your best. But our bodies are different, and if we've got chronic pain, we might be a little imbalanced, right? So I see that my left knee doesn't want to go down as far as my right knee. It's like my left side is tighter. I do have more pain generally on my left side. That's probably why it doesn't come up all the way. So now this is another good one. And I love this one because you can really give your feet some love. Warm up your feet with your hands and just give them a little massage, a little squeeze. So, now as you see I have my hands down on my ankles and I'm pushing them a little closer. My heels a little closer to my pelvis. And then I am keeping my arms straight. As I lift up, it helps me to lift up. Inhale, looking up, exhaling. Inhale, and now this time, when you exhale, slowly bring your chin down to your chest. Keep your arms straight. Okay, nice straight arms will help you to rock in your pelvis. And if this hurts too bad, if there's like some like bad pain coming in as you're doing this, just please gently come out of it and maybe give that part of your body some love. You know, give it a little massage, a little attention. Let that part know that it's okay and that you're helping it. Sometimes we need to talk to our bodies. We've, got a lot of things going on in there, and our body as a whole, and it is working together in many different ways. So let's try to be aware of what's going on if we want to heal, right? It's a process. So now this is one where you can come in. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see me this way. Okay, so we've got our feet together. You can rock back and forth. Now, it's important here that you're trying to bring your elbows down to your shins, or right under my knees. We're all going to be different heights, and this is going to look different for each person. I'm kind of tall, so so we're rocking, we're bringing our arms down in alignment with our legs here. See, we're making this little kind of like a frog shape or something. And then we're going to go back and forth. We're going to look over each shoulder, breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Rocking down. Now, we come down a little further if you can. We're going to bring our hands out in front of us. Rocking our hands out. Ooh, can really feel this one in our inner thigh. Now, doing these different releases and opening stretches and asanas are helping our body where our chronic pain tends to be, which most of it's going to be in our lower body, right? Most of it is like in this area. Sometimes in our knees. That's why we got to be really careful with our knees. So this is really helping the inner thighs to open up, which then will help our hips to open up. And then our hips support our back, and it all works together. So we're going to come down, and we're going to walk our hands out, stretching our fingers all the way out. And our head comes down to our toes. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Nice slow breaths. Only come down as far as you can. If this is too much, just stay here. Couple more breaths. Rock it out a little bit. And then walk it back up. Okay? Now slowly bring your knees back together, your toes. And this is one of my favorites, that sometimes if the pain gets bad, I have to get my booty down to my mat to do what I'm going to show you. Okay? This next series of exercises here. I think I might have to scoot back a little bit. So we're going to lie down. I've got my little blanket here, so if it's uncomfortable for you to lie down on your low back for some reason, if you're flat and you feel like you need a little padding, you can do this, something like this. And you just slowly got to come down. Sometimes, you got to get into certain positions to release the tension and the knots that are causing the chronic pain. Or at the time, it's acute pain. If it's really gotten bad, acute and chronic can go back and forth. Okay, so I'm slowly trying to make my way down and show you different positions that you can get into. One of my favorite is putting my feet straight up like this into an L shape. So my body is like in an L here, okay? And if you can get down and get your low back and hips on your mat, you may feel some discomfort at first, but slowly the tension is going to start to release and your body is going to be like, oh, thank you. And so this is very helpful, and I usually like to put my feet straight up into the air like this, just to get this balance going here. You can reach up to your feet. You can bring them closer if that's comfortable and see if you can touch them. And just stay here for a few moments. Pay attention to your breathing. Breathe in deep to your belly and your pelvis. Imagine the pain releasing. And now you can slowly bring your feet out and back in together. Out and back in. Out and in. And I would suggest doing this, at least 8 times, 8 to 12 times. I tend to inhale in and exhale out. And then bend and bring your feet to your hands in this happy baby stretch. Happy baby pose. And bring your feet together into a supine butterfly, where you're laying down, making that butterfly pose, giving your feet some love again. Feet together, knees come out. And bring them back up. And now, this is something I learned in physical therapy that was really helpful. It's, as you may know, very beneficial to be concentrating on your ab work as well, but ab work that's not going to hurt your back. You have to be really careful if you have pain in your back when you're doing ab work, that you're doing it correctly, but also our abs help support our back. So we want to remember to do whatever feels comfortable. This one was really good for me. I'm not lifting my head up. My head is lying comfortably on the floor, resting. So it's slowly and bringing each toe down and tapping like this. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, and you're trying to keep this 90-degree angle here, right? And then just one foot comes down and taps, the other one comes up, and the other one comes down and taps. And you'll feel some workout in your leg a little bit, but you'll also start feeling it in your abs. And you can do this a couple repetitions, like 15 times each. You can flex your foot when it comes up. Keep breathing, inhaling in, exhaling out. Okay, now straighten those legs back up. And then we're going to bring one foot down, the other leg stays up, nice and strong. You feel the stretch here. Stretching out our hamstrings, our quads. This is really, really beneficial too. This all works together, helps to release everything that's going on in our hips and our back. And then the other leg goes down and that one comes up. Okay, so the first one you do a little slower, just kind of feel into it, and then you can start picking up the pace. Not too fast, just very regular, balanced motions. One leg comes up to meet, and the other one goes down to meet the floor. You tap the floor, you bring it back up. Inhaling and exhaling as you switch sides, okay? Inhale, up, exhale, down. Okay, so you can do this about 10 times on each side. And then bring your feet slowly back down. Spread your heels out to the side. Your feet should be hip width apart and your toes pointed straight ahead, okay? You don't want your knees to go out, or you want them to be more pressing in towards each other, but they don't have to touch, okay? We're gonna push into our feet. And if you're having like a really bad day, like the pain is really bad, this might be hard to even push up, okay? To even like put any kind of more tension, you know, like working out these muscles in our buttocks might be really, really hard if the pain is bad. So what I have done is I have my magic ball here. You can use a tennis ball, any kind of ball that is tennis ball or a little bigger. This one's a little bigger. This is a salt ball. And it's hard and it stays cold, which is nice. And, you know, like I said, if you're having a really bad day, just pick yourself up enough to where you can get that ball under there. I've had to do this. Just get my ball in there, and I know it hurts, but just put it on the spot that feels it needs the most love and release. And just start gently rolling around, keeping your knees going in towards each other, okay? So there's an intentional, you know, movement here. And then you're concentrating on releasing in the area that needs it most. A lot of times it's in our buttocks and our hips, and you can just keep moving the ball around a little bit and do this for 5 to 10 minutes. All of these things I'm showing you today shouldn't take more than 20 to 30 minutes, and your pain will feel better. Okay, so if you wanted to go a little further, if you felt like you could and you have a block, you could put the block underneath your low back here, in between your coccyx and your low back, and just rest it. And just press your knees together and release, and just, you know, you can do little movements like this, strengthening your buttocks, strengthening your butt and your abs and your hips, and keeping nice lengthening and stretching in your hamstrings will all help release pain and tension in your hips and your low back. So now bend your knees, slowly bring them into your chest, rocking back and forth, holding my hands gently on my knees, pressing them in, flexing my feet. Inhale deep. Exhale out. Inhale again. And again. Hold. Exhale out. If you're comfortable with rocking up, that's great. But if you're having one of those days, you might have to gently roll to your side to gently come up. Thank you for joining me today. I will be making another one of these videos very soon. And I do have more time now where I'm going to be more active on social and my YouTube channel and putting more energy into it. So I'm really excited about that. I have much to share. And please hit that follow button or that subscribe button or whatever it is. And ask me any questions that you might have. And I also have a podcast. If you're somebody that has something to share that is in the wellness field and you want to be on the podcast, I would love to have you as a guest. I'm going to start having guests very, very soon. And I usually put my episodes out every Sunday, Monday, so at the beginning of the week. And they're always on a different wellness topic to help spread more consciousness and wellness information throughout the world, I hope. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.